All right. Well, thank you, Sarah Lynn, for getting on the first virtual sales tip call. This is great. We're going to focus on standing out virtually. So we're recording this so we can share it with everyone we know. We can post it in a stand out virtually, you know? So yeah, thank you for your time this morning. And then I just wanted to start with a quick little statement, and we're not going to use the chat box with the hundreds of attendees we got now, but just think about it. We'll talk about it at the end. If you don't have a virtual presence, you don't exist. Just think about that. And that'll be a good little comment. We'll put it on a little thing on the post and stuff. So just think about that. And then some 3 quick tips. And then I want to share, what your quick tips are. And then we can have open discussion. If Shelly comes by, hey, we'll be on a couple of fun minutes, having a great time. So tips. Advocates, you have to get advocates that like to reshare and like and comment. This isn't just likes, we need comments if you want to stand out virtually. And this is vice versa. So keep LinkedIn open so you can comment on people that are posting things that are relevant and have a voice as a resource. And then when it benefits a place like FOCA to Shown, definitely you're going to be talking about that as an expert in the field. But Pittsburgh events, yay! So we got Gary White joining us.
Oh, Gary.
Where's your face, Gary? I asked to unmute. Okay, yeah, go ahead and unmute because we only got 3 on the call. There we are.
Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
For the past 7 to 8 minutes, I've been trying to get Tiffany to send me this link. I've been searching for the past 7 minutes. I didn't text her, Roy, Laura. Nobody's replying to me.
Whoops.
Did you text me?
Sarah, I will next time.
Yeah.
I should have known you had it.
I got you.
I know you do.
Can we adopt Sarah Lynn into our region?
I know, right? What's going on, guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm good. We're just trying to weather this storm. Yeah, just trying to weather the storm. That's all.
You're at 25% capacity, right?
What do you mean? You're rocking it.
Yeah, we're rocking it. Yeah, we guess what? We're literally like we have nothing to work with outside of just trying to use FOGO's name to get what we can get, because we can't really showcase our talents because we're limited, to so much.
I know.
Me personally, I like to have social and networking gathering because once you have somebody in front of you, you can share and show them who you are, and they want to do business with you because they take on your personality, and folks don't mind spending that money. But when you're trying to communicate with somebody via text, email, all of those other avenues, it makes it that much tougher.
That is true. My chamber has been doing some virtual stuff, which has been helpful. So.
Oh, good.
Where they've been doing Zooms like this, and at least you can visually represent a little bit, because they're still not comfortable doing in-person networking, cocktailing, any of that stuff.
Right. Understood.
That lead gen side is awesome, where you can go to the group dining and look at the rooms, look at the packages, and build your own event. That kind of takes out that element that you need that face-to-face. You're like, well, hey, just go online and you can pretty much do everything you would here without just having a little tour and taste before you actually come out. So
it's hard for me to get into somebody's pocket when they're not in front of me, though. Just Sarah said, just pick a little bit at it. Okay.
Just a little bit goes a long way.
Excuse me.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I'm just doing the market table on Zoom when we want to get the full experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I have some wedding planners I'm trying to work with now, and they don't want. I was just telling Tiffany. Some are like, "Yeah, we're coming for lunch. We're ready." And some are like, "Yeah, no, you can Zoom call me in September." And I'm like, "Okay." Then I'll just pick up my laptop and I'll walk you around the restaurant. It's fine with me.
There you go. I like that.
Don't make you look at it somehow.
I like that.
Hey,
listen, We've been on the phone for what, 5 minutes, and I haven't heard P-Town yet.
P-Bird! Yeah, Steel City!
Oh my goodness. Every day. I laugh at that every day. Every day.
I'll text you every morning. P-Bird!
Gotta love it. Who's facilitating this Zoom meeting
We
today?
all are because
Miss
we're all
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa, that's right. Let that roll off your tongue a little bit.
De La Rosa.
I like it.
Un poquito habla español.
I like it.
Well, okay, so we were talking about virtually, and Gary, you said you're having challenges with like texting and some of the electronic kind of stuff versus face-to-face, but I don't know. I think that group site really helps, and texting usually works. Like you were texting me this morning, but guess what? My phone's in the other room. So, I guess you had to have your technology on you if it's gonna
Right.
work.
Exactly.
Well, okay, so we learned a lesson there. But some of the things I was going to talk about for tips, like as far as standing out virtually, is using hashtags. I like to use ones that are commonly used, and at the beginning of all of this, I started back using the Houston Strong. So if there's like a P-Berg or a Rosemont Strong or something like that, it's really big here for the city of Houston because we went over this huge Hurricane Harvey, and that was the tagline. And we donated over 100,000 to the food bank during that time, like Fogo did. So I wanted to bring that back, that we're really big on community support. So I've been using that, and I think that it's gaining more traction and it gets more community coverage that way. And then I look at like specific likes that, okay, there's only 3 followers. Well, I'm probably not going to use that one. But if there's, hundreds or thousands, and Instagram, it always has a lot more. Sometimes in the millions, but LinkedIn, there's so many words to use. If anything's over 200, I think that's valuable to use those hashtags so it can drive people to your posts. And then I don't know if y'all done this lately. I did it this morning because my quick little quote is, if you don't have a virtual presence, then you don't exist. So that's kind of like a food for thought thing. But if you type into Google, have y'all done this lately? Type in your names into Google and see what comes up?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was like let me see if I can share the screen, because my picture was right up on there from LinkedIn. So I know this year sharing and commenting and liking and resharing and then creating posts about people have really gotten me an actual virtual presence. So I feel like I exist this year, It
Right.
helps when people are searching, and you can't do that face to face. They can hey, look me up on Google, connect with me on LinkedIn. You're going to see what we're all about. I'm a resource. I'm not here selling anything. I'm just a resource for the Houston community. And you can see that online, right, when you type it in. So that helps. And then use your electronics to reach out. That's really big. The 8x8, Gary and I did some 8x8 call like the last Monday because we wanted to test out the actual video conferencing. And once we got all that worked out, it was about 5 minutes figuring it out. Something about the phone was calling and the internet was going too. So
Right.
find a buddy to kind of test these things out on, and then start using it for clients. I think that, because Sarah Lynn, you're like, hey, I'll use my laptop. That is cumbersome. So you could use the 8x8 with your phone because it's always on you anyway. And you can just show the place. And then you can walk by and the gaucho's walking in for lunch, and you can kind of show them off. And that kind of lets them remember the experience while they're planning on coming in, that kind of thing. And then On the Zoom call, so virtual background is important. Sarah Lynn, you saw that, picanha and cheese virtual background I usually use. It does help me stand out because when I'm on the MPI calls and other Zoom calls are like, oh, I'm hungry now. They see the food. They're like, oh, I need to go to Fogo or place a to-go order or something. So that helps out. Using the comments, of course, so people, you can start conversations, comment, and just connect with everyone that's on the call, not just the moderator. Use the reactions. You could oh, that's cool. Do a little, if somebody's getting a reward or something like that, do a little thumbs up. Or if they're talking about something, you're like, oh, that's awesome. Let's applaud that. It helps it make it more interactive, and then it's probably gonna have you connect personally with people after the call, not just as an attendee. And ask questions to promote, practice speaking to groups still, show your enthusiasm. P-Burg, Rosemont. And that's what I got. So please tell me, Sarah Lynn, because you were on the call first, tell me some more stuff.
So we were talking about, posting what's personal to you. So not just the cell. Fogo, I post a lot of stuff, military, a lot of things we do with the USO I have upcoming. Obviously people also want to see what you're passionate about. That helps when you're commenting. It helps people to connect to you. Hashtags, like you said, look to see the followers. It may be something as simple, I realize celebration and celebrations with an S on the end had way different followers as far as numbers. Event planner, different from event service, those little things. So I've literally just sat and come up with different hashtags just to see how many followers they have. And I just wrote myself a little list. So, when I'm doing different things, I know to have it plural or not plural, then that will give you the better group. Remembering it's a conversation, like you said, comment, to share, to not just like it, so they will in turn do the same back for you. And then when you're on the Zoom calls, I don't know if anybody knows, but in the comments, you can also save the comments. So let's say you're on a virtual networking and everybody's putting their information and phone numbers and you're trying to jot it down. You actually can save the comments to your desktop, and then you have all the list of everybody's comments.
I love it. Yes, you can. So you go to file, the little box to the right of the actual chat.
Yeah, the little 3 dots where it says more, and then it says save chat. You can save any of the Zoom chats. That's been helpful when we do the chamber ones, because everybody just pops all their information in there, and then phone numbers, and you're trying to look them up so you can, connect with them on LinkedIn or however, and you didn't write their name down right or whatever, you can just pull it up. And like you said, just ways to reach out, when you're doing posts, post it as a question, post it as an interaction, opposed to just blanketed information, who's hungry, who needs a caipirinha, when I have my USO one, when you're doing teaser posts of, hey, here's 2 things, what do you think it means, more to come, things like that.
I love it. I'm typing some notes about this so we can save it based on your suggestion. Save the chat. Okay.
Guys, this is very, very helpful. Now, how many Zoom calls have you facilitated so far?
Let's see. I did it with the oil and gas admins on their. I didn't facilitate it.
In this setting. In this setting.
In this setting. This is our first one.
Is this the first one?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the reason why I'm asking is because you guys have brought a lot to the table. You guys have a lot of substance that you're providing, and I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm taking notes, that's for sure.
Oh, well,
yeah,
wait till you talk. I'm going to start taking notes from you, Mr. Cater.
No. This is great. This is really great material. One thing that when I spoke with Tiffany last time, we got to speaking about doing some digital flyers and submitting them out, and how to funnel them in to be focused particularly on a particular group. Okay, for instance, a lot of times when we post flyer, we want it to go to the masses, but sometimes you have to design that flyer to go toward a particular group specifically. It's not like you're excluding other folks, but you really want to drive home a specific group, like for weddings, wedding dinner rehearsals, which is my last flyer. And what I need to dive in more deeper on is literally, we have the resources in Triple Seat right now, okay, for digital flyers that we can send to those folks. Because I spoke to a client this morning, something made me give her a call to see if she's still, because she was at a tentative position in Triple Seat, and I called her and I said, "Hello, Julia. This is Gary White from Fogo. Just wanted to check and see how you're coming along with your rehearsal dinner for October." She says, "Oh, this blah 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 Corona." I said, "Okay, well, Sharon, tell me a little bit about it." She says, "Yeah, we're moving the date." I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's good to know." I said, "Are you still going to be doing a rehearsal dinner with us at Fogo, and have you put in a date yet?" And she said it's going to be the Friday right before Memorial Day. So I said, "Well, let's go to the calendar." And I said, "Would you like for me to book that with you?" She says, "Absolutely." So at the end of the day, I immediately said, "Okay, we're still like 9 to 10 months out from her rehearsal dinner, and I just facilitated a digital flyer that is inviting wedding planners, brides, bridesmaids, event planners to come to this event." I said, "I would like to," because she was really feeling down and how her transition from her wedding that she was getting ready for in October to May. I said, "Let me invite you to the event that I want to have for brides and wedding planners." I said, to kind of like take a little bit of this COVID pressure that is causing you to deflect from your wedding. I said, "Why don't you come in, have complimentary brunch on us at Fogo?" And I said, "We can revisit a room that you're looking to book, and you can have an idea of how you want to set that room up. You know, even though it's going to be manned next year." But at the end of the day, those resources, even though we're several months away from her event, she's going to tell her bridesmaids about this, their complimentary event that she received from us. She's going to, her groom or her soon-to-be husband's going to talk about it with his friends. So at the end of the day, it keeps us visible. And these are some of our great attributes from being in front of folks. But at the end of the day, I'm going to learn to be more virtual in my selling, so to speak. But of course, you know, we don't always want to sell, but it just happens to come out of us. But at the end of the day, we wake up in the morning, we look and see how we want to portray ourselves to other folks. But I just think that if we use our resources in Triple Seat, because those people are not really solidified just by their signatures on that service agreement. Okay, they're solidified in knowing who we are as a person, and will not go outside of doing business with no one else once they've met us and seen how we are invested in their event. That's what solidifies them to do business with us tomorrow and 2 years from now.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny. I just sent a wedding flyer to Tiffany asking her opinion on it yesterday, of one that I'm dropping to and sending to hotels to remind them that we can do rehearsals and brunch and showers and engagement dinners and everything. And on there is my bride and groom, which was my first post-COVID wedding, where we did a steak cutting instead of a cake cutting, and them seeing, you know, a couple in our space. While I love our marketing photos, I think the ones that we get to take, or, you know, the couple allows us to take in our space, humanizes it a little more and makes it a little more digestible for couples to be like, "Oh, look, there's a couple." Like, you know, it's not just somebody who's all dolled up and, you know, posed, and, you know, it's very natural.
I agree.
Real to the current situation. Yes.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
Very
empathize
valid.
with them completely.
Yeah, but funny you mentioned about wedding planners. So that's on my Q3 as well plan, and went through it, basically all the wedding planners in my area on the knot on Wedding Wire, and sent them all, hey, come on in for lunch. Hey, I know it's been really hard. I know that, things are crazy, but I see all your reviews and I see that, you have such a presence and that, couples love you and yada, yada, yada. And I love this about your website. Come in and talked about having a preferred wedding planner list where you bring your bride and groom in. I know you don't have an office. You can come here, meet them, do whatever you need to do. And then that way you get to also allow me to do a little table touch and you guys have free lunch. So you have a space to meet. You get free lunch out of me as long as you let me just do a quick hello, table touch, and let them know that we're here for them as well.
That's awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's a win-win situation for sure. If they're willing to come in, awesome.
Yeah.
You see it asked to unmute. Let's get Brittany unmuted so she can say hey too. She just joined. Brittany Heath.
Hello.
Hey. Hey.
Hi.
How are you doing? Thanks for joining.
Yes, absolutely. How's everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's another Monday.
Tuesday.
Start to really
Tuesday, but that's okay.
I
I
know.
like Monday.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking it was Monday after she said that. No, it's Tuesday.
No, I just meant it's another Monday. It's been really busy.
Oh, okay.
Double Monday. Darn. So do you get double Fridays then? On Thursday, it's going to be Friday.
Oh,
That
I
would
like
be sweet, Tiff.
Yeah. Every day's Aloha Friday in Houston.
that.
Well, when you're singing about pina coladas at the bar, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. If only they were open.
Where are you
Right.
located, Brittany?
I'm here in Houston.
Open.
Well, I mean,
Houston?
the bars aren't open.
Oh, okay. I'm like, hey, Fogo Bar is open.
I was about to say, Fogo has a bar in Houston.
But, oh, I love Fogo.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, you're in Fogo right now. This is the private, the Gaucho room. And
Oh, nice.
I have it kind of open too, so you can see the main dining as well. So yeah, you'll have to come by. Definitely. I'll reach out to you and invite you in for lunch or happy hour, whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'll bring my boss and make him pay.
Oh, yeah. Hey, here comes Shelly. Hey, come on in. This screen's not working. I have it plugged in just so you can see it, but welcome everyone. Brittany, Sarah Lynn, P-Bird, Gary. Yeah, P-Bird from Pittsburgh. Yeah. If you want to, do you want to join, since it's a laptop? Whatever. Well, I think it'll do feedback if you do your computer.
What if I'm muted?
I don't know.
Because I can just talk through yours.
Yeah, exactly. Come join me. We're best. I'll put my mask on, so we'll be copacetic. Okay, good. I got my gloves. I got my mask. I'm ready. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then I'll put it here.
Oh, you don't
Or-
have to do that. It's fine.
I want you to be on the call
I was
too.
like, I'm
Let's sit here.
No, I'm good.
No. Okay.
know.
She's on the other
Well, if I
side.
have to write,
Wait,
it's fine.
I can move this since it's not even working on the TV here, and then lift this up for me. Has to be plugged in or it won't work. So if we can kind of like
Well, then, okay. How about I
do
move
this.
chair?
There we go. Yeah. How was your call?
It was good, actually.
Nice.
I would have to tell you all about it.
Yay! I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shelly gets to still do some outreach calls. Like, how often are you? Because we're talking about standing out virtually, but tell us like how that's working for you doing the actual face-to-face. Like, what's the reception on that?
Well, I haven't been doing any cold calling, and I am notoriously that salesperson that's like, hey, I'm in the area while I'm sitting in their parking lot. Like, do you have 5 minutes that I can, just pop in and say, hey, right?
Yeah.
So, I haven't been able to do any of that, which is, I feel weird. Like, let's share.
Okay, there we go. Oh, it's this way.
So it's been a challenge for me just in that, like, my style is I like the element of surprise in my sales calls.
Mhm.
I feel like I get much better, not only, I don't want to say feedback, I have a much better hit ratio in terms of actually seeing clients if I don't schedule an appointment ahead of time, because schedules are so fluid. And this, of course, was previous, like prior to COVID, right? So because schedules have been so fluid, it's just easier for me to be like, hey, I'm here because I already had an appointment on that side of town. And if they're available, great. If not, well, at least they know that I was thinking about them. And I can try to schedule something at that point. So for this, it's been a lot of sitting, a lot of emailing, a lot of phone calling, and a lot of people don't give you cell phone numbers. It's all just their office lines.
Okay.
Especially for my general contractors. So I'm not sure who all calls on what markets, but like for me, I call on general contractors for ground up construction, renovations, tenant improvements, and I also call on service clients, and those are commercial high-rise properties or mid-rise properties, restaurants, retail, things of that nature. So it's kind of all over the board, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice mixed bag, let me say. I enjoy it because it keeps me on my toes. But for my general contractors, they all are operating remotely. Most of them are not in their offices, so I don't have the opportunity to see them. And they don't have the time to send individual emails to 30 some odd subcontractors that they're working with on a daily basis. So I am not doing very well in that arena. On the commercial property side, here's a great time to get capital projects done because their buildings are at minimal occupancy. So that side of my business is going very well. It's just kind of interesting to see because I was hired on to be in construction, not in service. So I'm like, well, I'm at least being productive, but not at the caliber that you would like to see or in the area that you wanted me to be. But it's okay. All right.
You're still moving forward.
I am. I'm still, actually, my sales have improved.
Nice.
On that side of the business. So yeah. So at least there's that. Yeah, but I really appreciate you being here. I hope that I didn't ramble too much for everyone else.
Oh, no, this is great because we didn't really have that outreach element. You know, Sarah Lynn and I kind of touched on that. You know, she's doing some outreach today and so am I.
Okay.
But we haven't been doing it on a consistent basis because we've just been, you know, helping with to go and then building the virtual presence so we can, you know, post as a resource and then share about group dining with lots of different ways, technology-wise. For us, we can do Zoom calls, which I'm sure your guys, they can do Zoom calls too if you send them like.
We can.
Or do they want to?
They don't really. I think like if it's happy hours, they're a little more interested. But I mean, it's not on a. We're not talking business at that point. Like we might have a little bit of business, but then there's a lot more. Hey, what's been going on? How are you handling this? You know, how's your family? Do you know anybody who's contracted the virus? Like, it's all been conversations like that. It hasn't been, you know, what are you working on? What are you seeing come down the pipeline? How are you engaging clients? How are you maintaining business? Like, what's your structure now? What's your strategy for future post-COVID? Like, you know, and so it's kind of, I don't want to say pointless because obviously it's FaceTime with your clients that is much needed right now.
Yeah.
And I assume that all of us on this call are very extroverted individuals and quarantine just doesn't work for any of us.
Amen.
Correct.
Like there's only so much of myself that I can take. And at this point I'm over myself. Like I'm done. I don't know. Like, I'm done having conversations with myself. I'm ready to be in front of my clients and be talking about construction or talking about what, you know, what you're doing in your restaurants and how you're going to, you know, re-engage clients, how you're going to get clientele back in here.
So I actually just posted in the chat box for you. I have construction as well as a reach out. And I was having the same challenges of getting the contractors and builders to one-on-one contact with, but I had the Chicagoland Contractors Association. So I'm sure Houston has one as well, and there's a contract and there's a builders association, and I've had a lot more success with their board members. I actually have 2 of them coming into lunch today.
Nice.
They were a lot more responsive, and they themselves do meetings, and then I'm going to find out, how to infiltrate their fortress of solitude today, as far as getting word out and things like that. If they do postings within the members, if they put on their page, vendors that they work with or things like that. So that might be a reach out. I'm not sure, if it's something that you've already tried. So
We need to have a lunch here.
Yes, so
Yes, we need
that's
to get them
great.
over here. Yeah.
So we do have associations. I'm just curious, Sarah, then, are your associations still having meetings? Are they doing virtual meetings? Did you ask her, did they answer any of those questions or offer?
I actually have lunch with them today at 11, but they are still having meetings and board meetings, etc. But they would then have the list of all the builders and contractors that are a part of the association and their companies to be an extra foot in, opposed to just trying to get, no offense, Gary, guys to answer the phone. When they know it's not the boss or the, head guy on the project at that moment, to talk about FOGO. So I think if we can get within the association and they have something within their walls that they post either on their site or they have message blogs I can just blast out to everyone who's a part of the association, that's what I'm finding out. So it was kind of a twofold. Themselves were still doing meetings, small, because it's just the board members, but then a way to get into everybody who's signed up in the association.
Gotcha. That's great. That's really great. In fact, I'm now officially on the board for National National Association of Women in Construction for the Houston chapter. So thank you. Maybe I need to talk to the president about moving our meetings because we have them at Maggiano's, but it'd be nice to change it up. And okay,
Sarah Lynn. Yes. She used to work at Maggiano's.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
But now she's in FOGO, so
Well,
Yep.
love it.
so now I have so much to tell you.
Oh, good.
I took a food sensitivity test and I'm allergic to so many foods.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So now I have to be extra careful.
Well, yeah, hopefully all the Brazilian favorites we have here can work for you.
Well, if it's protein and vegetables, I think we're okay.
Okay. So circling back, I think Gary was talking about also the presence and, the conflicts with you being able to have that guest in front of you. Brittany, what's your kind of challenge? We haven't gotten a chance to hear from Brittany. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I think a lot of the challenges so far is a lot of my contractors have shut their doors to vendors. So it's really hard to get some of them out. Some of them don't believe in the whole COVID thing. And they're like, yeah, let's do lunch. Let's go out. But it's kind of still that reservation of, well, if you don't believe in it, then it's kind of difficult to want to get you out because I don't know, it's, safety as well as being a vendor. You can't risk your own life too. But I think a lot of the challenges has definitely been getting people out of their office, especially, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I feel like a lot of my contractors are in a quarantine funk and they're getting used to staying at home and working at home and getting them out of their house, which is so weird. It's a brand new challenge for me. It's like, hey, I'll come near your area and we'll go out to lunch. You can leave your house for at least an hour. And it's weird because a lot of my customers are the people who I deal with mainly are the presidents of these companies. So, they have it a little bit easier than their employees sometimes. And it's just, sometimes I have to go through them and say, hey, make your PM go out to lunch with me, get them out there. So it's just those kind of challenges. And just everyone, I feel, not everyone, but I just feel like a lot of them are in just this funk and they're all pushing for work, which we are too. But I feel like a lot of them have lost their spark. So that's what I'm trying to engage again.
Wow.
That's
Well said.
They've been doing virtual calls with you in the meantime and just kind of staying up to date on like maybe LinkedIn or social media or wherever else y'all post.
Yes, I definitely am very active on LinkedIn. I even do it on a lot of my customers are on my personal Facebook, so I post there all the time. And I just try to stay connected in a personal level so they know that, hey, I'm here, don't go away. Um, but as far as virtual meetings, I haven't had very much success with that. I don't know if people just don't want to jump on a Zoom call or if the technology is a factor. Because I had one customer, I had to walk through how to download Zoom on his phone. So there's some challenges there, but virtual, I haven't had that much success yet, except for through my ASPE chapter, but that's about it. Engineers, they know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Better than we do
Way on
sometimes.
that.
Yes.
What were you gonna say, Gary?
Just to add to what Brittany was talking about, what can be a major challenge. Folks want to get on a Zoom call with people they know, people that they know how this can translate over to a compromisable business venture, both groups or parties involved. But folks don't really know from a perspective of a corporate perspective. Right now, I'm getting a lot of pushback from companies that, first of all, they can't bring any groups in one particular company into group dining because they have bylaws that are stated by their VPs or presidents that they can't hang in groups because if they get sick, it shuts down the company. So
Yep.
there's a lot of pushback in that perspective, and how do we get around that? These companies that are even allowing folks to work in there, they're only allowing half of their employees to work on one day and the other half come in on those other days, and then the third day they clean in between. So at the end of the day, they don't know what to expect. They don't know what to do. They don't know whether to book a holiday party. They are really flying by the seats of their pants because there's no direction from the top. So at the end of the day, we have to be more strategic and more versatile in our presentation of, okay, we understand that. So we have to offer another vehicle, whether it be catering. Okay, we have to let them know that we're willing to literally use all of our resources and provide them with our own promises of safety, and let them know it's just not about getting them into the building. Because like Brittany just said, some of these folks are, just walking around, not to say willy-nilly, but they don't really understand the magnitude of catching COVID versus bringing other folks into your surrounding and they catch COVID. So there's a back.
Right.
We have group folks that are coming into our establishment and they get sick, and all of a sudden there's a black mark on the name of Fogo because we had this event there. So at the end of the day, we can just express the safety practices that we're doing and moving forward. If you should choose to book an event, whether it be catering or it's your corporation or whatever, we can provide those services for you. You know what I mean? So just don't focus on group dining or getting folks in the building. Just let them know that, hey, look, we're practicing these safety promises and we want to extend them to you if you should need our services, catering or dining.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you because it actually happened to one of my competitors. They were sick and they got one of my customers and their owner sick. So they have a little dunce cap on right now, which I'm totally fine with, but I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Does everyone on the call have state mandates in regards to capacity that is allotted in the group perspective for the rooms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
feel like
getting
it
any?
changes daily.
Sorry, say again.
I said I feel like it changes daily, just because
Yeah.
there's been so much back and forth, and 1 minute's this.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what it is. I just don't do group anything. Everything I've done so far has really been individual. If it's one-on-one, maybe one-on-two, or it's been virtual, and I might pick a couple of folks from each organization, but we're all working remotely, so nobody's been in, I mean, this is probably the first time that I've done a joint, Zoom meeting at this point.
Yeah.
We're in August, right?
Yeah.
You were talking about that quarantine funk and all that. Yeah, since March on some of these folks.
Are you getting any pushback from any clients that want to exceed what the allotted minimum is for the group dining and private rooms? Anybody getting?
They're not wanting to exceed.
Yeah.
The guests or
Yeah.
us?
Probably.
I mean, we'll do a buyout if it's enough.
Yeah.
We'll do a buyout, and especially if it's before December and it's not
Yeah.
a crazy, minimum. Come out for brunch, 150 people. You can have the place.
Gotcha.
And so that kind of helps space out the whole place, and it's yours. And you're going to bring in your. But a lot of people are not wanting to even bring in 150. I just had a
Yeah.
buyout that's moving to next year. So because
Yeah.
nobody's going to say, I want to come in. You're going
Right.
to get like maybe
Yeah.
50 people out of that 150. And
Yeah,
Exactly.
I had 45 on Sunday. That's the closest I've gotten to our 50 max.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anybody pushing anything from dine in? I know there's folks that want to move their wedding or their event to 2021. Have you, were you able to modify anything from a dine-in perspective to any catering? Is there anybody having any challenges in doing so?
Yeah, I mean, catering is hard for me in Rosemont. I don't know how Houston is. I mean, Chicago weather, it literally changes with the pulse of the day.
like
So
last
there
night,
yes, I mean, literally there was tornado warnings and my power was out in my house from 4 p.m. till 5:30 this morning. So, I mean, there's not a lot of outdoor venues. Some of the golf clubs are doing some outdoor stuff, but they're really sticking within the boundaries of if the weather shifts, they can go inside. So it's 50, and they want to do their own catering. So we don't have a lot for me in Rosemont unless it's the backyard wedding.
Yeah.
And again, with how many different restaurants have scooped up all the tents and outdoor covering spaces here, it's been difficult for couples who even want to do something like that if the weather should have a shift. So I have a tough time with catering unless it's a pharmaceutical company that's looking to do a small drop for 8 to 10 maybe. I am blessed that I have the USO on Friday that we're feeding 500 soldiers at Great Lakes Naval Base. But literally it's a drive-through.
Wow.
The families come, they pick up the meals, they have to be sealed in the boxes and they drive off. Like they can't
That's awesome.
congregate, they can't hang out with other families. It's drop and go. But
yeah.
thank you.
500?
That was a challenge one, but thank you. Yeah, so I mean, I'm having a tough time with the catering. I'm watching your wonderful posts and with a jealous eye and a loving heart and just trying to figure out where that breaks into our world out here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gary, you got to talk about your golf event because I like the oil field helping hands. You know that about them. They want us to come out, but they want us to provide food and pay a fee. So I'm like, I don't know how we can translate that, but Gary had a recent event that it was on a golf course and they did a bunch of catering, like 150 people.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I used it as an LSM, but also wanted to retrieve some money from the client. Of course, they always want to come in and sell you on, hey, look, we're going to give you signage. We're going to give you this.
All this business.
Yeah, you're going to have the potential to get all these clients in your restaurant. The big sales was where they want you to just donate and give.
Mm-hmm.
Doing business with this guy for a while now. I always know that at the end of the day, he has a great heart and he's always looking out for number one himself, as he should. But at the end of the day, it's got to be a mutual transfer. Meaning that, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to provide for you like no other. We're going to bring you our signature dishes. We're going to bring to you, I'm talking at this particular moment. We're going to bring to you everything that you desire, but it's going to be within reason of us not sinking. So if we understand that in business, let us help you provide you with the services that you're looking for. So at the end of the day, you know, he wanted to work within a number that just wasn't practical in doing business outside of donating. So at the end of the day, just coming to an agreement on a number where it's sustainable for us to be able to bring product, And do receive the signage and the clients in front of us that we would not have gotten this opportunity to be in front of 150 golfers, or more or less, they're all corporate or businessmen or women, the like thereof. So just being in front of them and letting them know that we are not dark, we have not gone invincible. We're visible in the perspective of still providing you the same culture and the same product that we're used to doing. So we didn't go from a customary catering menu, whether it's the premium package or the classic package. We went with what the budget is. My thing is, I never like to tell a client no. Using the word no is just basically you're erasing that client from ever having an opportunity to gain their business. So my thing is, I'm always saying to the client, here's what we can do for the budget that you're providing, and we're going to bring our best foot forward. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't want us not to make a dollar. You wouldn't want us to not prosper in this business venture together. So, like I said, we did the golf outing. We got in front of some folks. We got the signage. We got all of the material from all of the marketing materials for brochures and so forth and so on. And then on top of that, we passed out the $25 promo cards to get the people back into the building. So every avenue that we can utilize to make Fogo a winner along with this golf outing. And then we just signed up with them again for next year. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's LSM. You know what I mean? And saying no would have been saying no to 145 guests. You know what I mean? Without us ever even reaching them. So we have to just find ways to just, like I said, just ask for the business with, don't go stripped out that you don't have anything left. So
The old Tim Gunn, make it work.
yeah, make it work. Make it work.
And it's so applicable across the board, so that's wonderful. I mean, we obviously, from a subcontractor's perspective, don't necessarily provide a catering service, but we do provide a service, right? And we need to be prosperous, and we also need for our clients to be prosperous, especially now more than ever. We want them to stay in business just as much as we want to stay in business. So we've got to find ways to be effectively successful in that. And I have had several reach out saying, hey, we're trying to get our associates motivated. What can you bring to the table? I understand that things are tough and you probably have a tighter budget than normal, but some gift cards, something like that. So I'm going to be,
You need some.
I do. I need to talk to you about some, because a lot of people, their office is on the north side, so the one in particular, but just to offer them something different, something that these folks probably wouldn't buy themselves, right? So
A little bit of comfort in this time too. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So something a little bit classy and elegant, and upscale, but I don't know.
I'm most likely use it for a celebration. They'll hold on to it and like, oh, birthday's coming up. Let me go out because this is a special place.
But it also keeps bringing business back to you folks. And one of the things that my husband and I have done throughout this whole thing is try to not eat out, obviously, because we couldn't, but to do the curbside at all of our small, whether it be chain or, we're trying to stay away from big box, to mom and pop as much as possible. We live in a more rural area. I commute into Houston for work, but obviously trying to do some of the smaller localized chains to keep the business local, to keep things going, keep money moving in the economy. And so, the biggest challenge with doing that for work has obviously been getting clients, like Brittany said, outside of their comfort zone right now.
Right.
And so if we can incentivize them, throw a couple gift cards their way and say, hey, I know that you might not be comfortable with going to lunch with me, but compliments of Raven, keep in mind,
when they do go out, it's on Ravens.
Yeah. So, I don't know, do you do like branded gift cards? Like you have your Fogo logo, but you can do like a branded Raven
You can
as
put
well.
anything you want on it.
Okay.
If you have stickers or you can put it in your envelope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Nothing you can't create with a label.
True.
Yep.
Very true.
Yeah, actually,
I'm not that proficient with any of that stuff. So
you
I-
bring that up because USO is government. They have to have all the containers sealed. So we had to create little FOGO labels to seal on the end of the to-go boxes.
Oh, how
Because
did
they
you,
have to be
did you send that
sealed
to us?
boxes.
Like a PD, you print it out, like you have it on a PDF and then it prints it out like that with the sticker?
No, actually, Sylvia, the office assistant, and I, when you go and buy just address labels, they're address labels that really go this way,
Oh,
but we doubled the logo so I can use 2 per address label. And then she would just pull up the Avery format and she was just cut and pasted.
oh, that's cool.
got too much stuff in this tiny little pocket.
Microsoft Word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ours are a little bit bigger, so I'm like, I need a smaller one.
We can put it, we have it in, like, the gift card has a little,
Like an
a
envelope
little
thing.
font, yeah, and then just put that on the envelope.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, like, cause I don't think I could get it approved to order envelopes right now.
I gave,
But
I gave stamps to somebody and she's like, this is gold. you
Right.
know?
So I'm trying to roll out an initiative right now. One of my associates in the construction industry threw it out there that be the contract, like states. What did I say? I want to be the contractor that saves your summer, right? So we obviously haven't really had much of a summer, or it's been a perpetual summer, whichever way you want to look at it. Things have slowed down immensely. So I'm trying to find a cheap and effective way to be the contractor that comes in and saves the day for some of our clients that have been hesitant to move forward with things or invite contractors in, or otherwise just they're kind of at a loss right now. So they're in that funk that we were talking about. Just be there to kind of help pull them back up, especially, once things wind back down and we get back to whatever is our perceivable normal at this point. So I started doing some branding on it, and I've got to get it approved by my owners. But she was like, even if you want to go cheap, just do some lifesavers and tie them up with a bow with your little flyer and send them out to like 100 of your best clients. And I was like, that's really simple but effective.
Yeah, it's the lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm trying to do something like that where I don't have to spend a lot of the company's money, but I would like to incorporate some, packages with gift cards or anything like that. So we're gonna be talking. Some of our GCs, obviously, they're like decision makers are higher up, so I want to do something a little bit nicer. But
Right.
our building engineers, I know they don't treat themselves enough. They really don't, but they appreciate anything that you throw their way. So something simple like that, just keep us in mind with all of our brand and contact information. And I don't know if that's effective for you guys, but anything with your brand on it at this point for brand recognition, I think is great. We're trying to talk about standing out virtually. Well, I don't know that. I don't know that there's like one true effective way that's going to make you stand out amongst the rest, aside from, Brittany, you're really smart in getting your personal social media in there. That's one thing that I really haven't done yet. I did take over social media for the company, but I've only been doing like one post a week just to, because it's really not something you can do part-time. You really have to be committed to the cause. And I'm not a social media mogul. I don't like it. I don't feel like I'm effective at it because there's like a science behind it, right? And I didn't learn how to do that. And I could probably.
We all got a crash course, trust me.
So we're all learning together. So I'm like, well, if I'm behind the curve, I feel like I'm still not behind the curve. But I didn't grow up in a generation where I had a smartphone and all that stuff in my hand. So I'm still trying, I couldn't figure out how to turn my phone on today. It shut down on me, and I was like, so I'm hitting the on button, like, why isn't it coming on? Apparently you have to hit 2 buttons, and I didn't know. So, and stuff like that, where I'm just like, come on, this is so simple, but it escapes a lot of people. So, making it easy on them. My bosses reached out and asked me to start having our clients send in Google and Yelp reviews. Y'all, do you know it took me over an hour, even after Googling how to do a Google review, it still took me over an hour to find where you can actually go in and add a review on Google. And I was like, well, if it took me this long, imagine how long my client's gonna take.
Which
So
they're usually not in front of the
no, they're not.
email and laptop all the time.
Correct. And
Yeah.
so I was like, all right, so now I have to find like a little template that I can put the links in. So then I still haven't figured out how to link it. So if anybody has,
We're proficient in the hypertext. We got trained on that with the event orders. We'll share some private dining knowledge.
like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like I'm a hot mess at this. All I know how to do is be in front of people and talk to people. So this is just not being able to get people into. If now you don't feel bad. Do you have the same problems down there in Pittsburgh or up there in Pittsburgh? Okay, good deal.
Well, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I have an 11 o'clock. I'm so sorry. This was fabulous.
Bye.
Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help any way I can.
See you, Sarah. I gotta go too, guys.
All right.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
I was so late, wasn't I? Like I started at
Oh my
10.
gosh, it's 11. Cool.
For some reason, I had it in my head that this was at 10:30, so I didn't get in any hurry to get over
No
here.
worries. No rush. Brittany, how are you doing?
Good. It's a busy day, but I'm trying to. This has kind of inspired me to see how I can get some more business here, because obviously there's work out there, and if we're not getting it, someone else is. So, got to figure out how to get that settled here.
That little
Well,
sweet spot, right?
Are you in charge of Raven's account now? Who's?
I am. Chris just likes to hog you and one other person there. I can't remember who.
Chris Bach and probably Patrick.
I know. I love them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll have to. Yeah, I am officially in charge of Raven now. I've been. My wings have been set free here.
Good. That makes me so happy because I don't know who was calling on us before, but they weren't.
Yeah. I stay in touch with Dustin a lot. I need to stay in touch with more everybody now. Just when COVID hit is right when I started at Oslin. So it's kind of been a lockdown for us. But I think we're pretty much free now.
Wait, you moved over to Oslin?
Yeah, I'm at Oslin.
Okay. So I just reached out to Chris yesterday.
Okay.
I had no idea. Otherwise, I need to, you know what? So here's my other problem with my phone, right? So IT remotely wiped it a couple of days ago.
Okay.
So let me make sure that I have your number. I do not. Let me add it right quick.
I'll go ahead and in the recording. Thank y'all, everyone, for attending.
Yes.
And then we'll still talk, but I'm going to stop the recording. But thank y'all, everyone, for your insights. And then, the more that we get these conversations going, the more that we can help each other out. That's the big thing about the virtual is the share. So I'll copy and I'll send everyone the chat, and then I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'll be